What if the one you trust the most, the quiet voice inside that says, "I am watching, I am aware, I understand," is itself nothing more than a refined thought pretending to stand outside the chaos it belongs to? What if the observer you lean on for clarity is not a separate entity at all, but just another movement of memory, another echo of the past dressed up as authority? Imagine sitting alone, trying to observe your thoughts, and for a moment it feels like you have stepped back, like there is distance between you and the noise, like you are finally in control, and you tell yourself, "Now I am aware." But if you stay with that moment without rushing, without concluding, something subtle begins to crack, because a question arises, not from curiosity, but from direct seeing. Who is this I that is aware? And the moment you turn your attention toward that observer, you notice it has a voice, a tone, a set of preferences. It compares, it judges, it evaluates. It says, "This is good, that is bad. I should not think like this. I must become better." And suddenly it becomes clear that this observer is not silent at all. It is active, noisy, full of movement. And if it is moving, if it is thinking, then it is not separate from thought. It is thought. This is not about denying your existence in real life, but understanding how the mind creates a psychological image of you. And this is where the illusion begins to unravel, because the observer, which felt like a stable center, begins to reveal itself as a process, something that arises and disappears like any other thought, something that is built from memory, from conditioning, from past experiences, and yet it claims a special position. It claims to be the controller, the watcher, the one who can fix everything. But if you look closely, the controller is made of the same material as what it tries to control. The thought that says, "I must control my anger," is itself a product of memory, just like the anger it tries to suppress. So there is no real separation. There is only one movement appearing as two. Now the mind, being incredibly clever, does not give up easily. It hears this and immediately creates a subtler version of the observer. It says, "All right, that old observer was conditioned, but now I will observe purely, without judgment." And again, it feels real. It feels like progress. It feels like you are getting closer to truth. But look carefully, because this new observer still has a motive. It still wants something. It still carries the desire to become free, to become aware, to reach a certain state. And any movement toward becoming is rooted in the past, because it is based on comparison, on what has been known and what should be. So even this refined observer is still part of the same structure, still part of the same loop. This is why it feels like an infinite loop, because every attempt to step out of the loop is made from within the loop itself. You try to observe your thoughts, but the one who is observing is also a thought. Then you try to observe the observer, but that creates another observer. And this continues, layer after layer, like mirrors reflecting mirrors, endlessly. It is not that there is a final observer somewhere hidden at the center. It is that there is no center at all, only this continuous movement of thought creating the illusion of a center. Bring this into your daily life, and you will see how deeply this operates. Someone says something that hurts you, and immediately there is a reaction, a tightening, a defense. A story begins to form, and then almost instantly another voice appears. "I should not react like this. I must stay calm. I must be aware." Now there are two layers, the reaction and the observer, but both are part of the same movement. The first is raw, the second is refined, but both are conditioned. The observer is not outside the reaction, it is part of it, another response shaped by past knowledge. Or consider how you deal with fear. Fear arises, and you say, "I must understand this fear. I must get rid of it. I must watch it." And all these responses create the sense that there is someone separate dealing with fear. But if you look closely, the one who wants to get rid of fear is itself afraid. The desire to escape fear is driven by fear. So again, there is no separation, only one movement appearing as many. Then who is aware? If the observer is just another thought, is there any awareness at all? Or is everything just mechanical, just conditioned repetition? This is where things become very subtle, because awareness is not something you can turn into an object. It is not something you can possess, not something you can cultivate like a skill, not something you can practice your way into. The moment you try to practice awareness, there is a goal, a direction, a method, and that method is again guided by thought, by memory, by the past. So what you call practicing awareness often becomes another activity of the observer, another way of strengthening the sense of I. But there are moments, very simple, very ordinary, where something different happens. You are looking at the sky, or listening to a sound, or even feeling an emotion, and for a brief instant there is no naming, no judging, no movement of thought trying to control or change anything. There is just seeing, just listening, just feeling. In that moment, is there an observer separate from what is being experienced? Or is there only the experience itself? There is no I am seeing the sky, there is just seeing. No I am feeling anger, there is just anger. In that moment, the division collapses. But the mind is quick. It immediately comes in and says, that was a beautiful moment of awareness, how can I repeat it? And now it becomes memory, something to achieve again, something to hold on to, and the observer is back, stronger, more determined. This is why the search for awareness becomes a trap, because the very desire to be aware is driven by the same structure that creates division. So is there a way out? Not through effort, because effort implies a direction, a goal, a movement toward something, and that movement belongs to thought. Not through suppression, because suppression is also a reaction. Not through analysis, because analysis is still within the field of memory. The only thing that seems possible is to see, to observe without trying to change what is observed, to watch the entire movement of thought, including the observer, without interfering. Can you do that? Not as a method, not as a practice, but right now, can you watch a thought as it arises, without naming it, without judging it, without trying to stop it? Can you watch the urge to control, to understand, to become, and see that urge as part of the same movement? Not to get rid of it, but just to see it. Because in that seeing, something begins to shift, not because you made it shift, but because the illusion is no longer being supported. When you see that a rope is not a snake, the fear disappears instantly, not because you controlled it, but because you understood it. In the same way, when you see that the observer is not separate from thought, that it is part of the same movement, the whole structure of division begins to dissolve. And in that dissolution, there is a different kind of awareness, not created by effort, not owned by anyone, not directed toward any goal. This awareness has no center. It does not say, I am aware. It does not accumulate. It does not become stronger or weaker. It simply is. And in that state, if it can even be called a state, there is no conflict, because conflict exists only where there is division, where there is an observer trying to control the observed. When that division ends, conflict ends. But the mind will try to capture even this. It will say, I understand now, I have reached something. And in that moment, the observer is back again. So this is not something you can hold on to, not something you can turn into knowledge, because knowledge belongs to the past, and this is not of the past. So the real question is not, who is aware, as something to be answered, but as something to be lived, to be explored without conclusion. Can you stay with that question without rushing to answer it, without turning it into a belief, without making it into another idea? Because the moment you answer it, the mind has already moved away from the fact. Perhaps in that unanswered question, in that space where the mind does not immediately conclude, there is a different kind of intelligence, one that is not bound by thought, not limited by memory, not trapped in the loop of observer and observed. And that intelligence is not something you achieve. It is something that reveals itself when the noise of becoming comes to an end. So the next time you say, I am observing my thoughts, pause, and look at the observer itself, not to analyze it, not to judge it, but simply to see what it is made of. And in that seeing, without effort, without direction, something may quietly come to an end, and what remains is not something you can name, but something you can only be.